Welcome, everybody, to the Mexipino podcast. My name is Nico Blitz.
And I am Jackie Ramirez.
And as I said, this is the Mexipino podcast, everybody. I mean, it's kind of self-given what we mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, in case you don't know from the title already, Mexipino podcast, because I am Mexican and Nico
is Filipino, of course.
Yeah, so in case you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah, and I think we just wanted to finally get together on this podcast because, I mean, me and Jackie have been talking about making a podcast since, I don't know, maybe the beginning of quarantine?
I wouldn't say the beginning of quarantine. I think it was the beginning of this year.
The beginning of this year for sure then.
Yeah.
But, in addition to that, me being Filipino-American and Jackie being Mexican-American, we feel like that with our respective careers, we are breaking boundaries for our culture.
Yeah, especially for, growing up and not seeing many Filipinos or Mexicans on TV in entertainment. I feel like by no means are we saying that we're the blueprint or anything like that, but we hope to inspire others aside from entertainment that, they want to pursue something that's completely different in cultural wise. We hope that we can inspire you in some type of way.
Yeah, and for people listening too, maybe some of you know us from in real life. Maybe some of you know us from Twitch, TikTok, so on and so forth. But for people who don't know us, we should probably give everybody a backstory, right, babe?
Yeah, a backstory. Well, Nico,
you go first, ladies first.
Well, Nico and I are a couple, so let's put that out there. We are in a relationship, but my name is Jackie Ramirez, in case you guys don't know me, and I am 23 years old. I'm born and raised in East LA.
Oh, I didn't realize we were going with like the ages and whatnot too.
Well,
babe.
I don't know. It felt good. It felt right. It felt like it was going with the flow.
This ain't a job interview, babe. You ain't got to put your social security and everything like that.
Okay, I thought I was introducing myself, sir. Okay, anyway, my name's Jackie Ramirez. Born and raised in East LA. I am an entertainment and sports host. I host for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
There we go.
I host for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes.
There we go.
I host for the Pac-12 UCLA men's basketball.
There we go.
And I host for UCLA women's basketball as well.
Okay, that deserves one more round of applause. So many UCLA goodness in here.
Yeah.
Basically,
really
Jay Quillen, Jackie, she does all the Los Angeles teams.
Hey, I'm trying to take over SoCal. That's the goal. And, wherever else it takes me.
Yeah, and so for myself too, for people who don't know me, my name is Nico. I also go by Nico Blitz. I DJ in real life. I DJ on Twitch. I also am a DJ and producer for the Bootleg Kev Show, which is a nationally syndicated radio show. And I also have my podcast, the Nico Blitz podcast. And what else do I do, babe?
You are a Mix Global.
Oh, yeah. And I'm also a host for Mix Global. Shout out to Mix Global one time for the one time. The largest Filipino-American or just... What's the word I'm looking for?
Platform?
No, not platform. When you're talking about like the newer generation of like Filipinos, that's what I'm talking about.
The newer generation of Filipinos.
Yeah, shout out to the newer generation of Filipinos, man, because Mixed Global is definitely breaking boundaries. And just being in all these spaces, because growing up as a Filipino, it's like you're left with one of two choices. One, you either be a nurse or you be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever you want to call it. Just basically the high-end money-making jobs. And not a lot of Filipinos did the DJing thing growing up. And
see, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because off the top of my head, I don't know like that, standard, like you pick from this type of
the standard Mexican American job.
Yeah, I don't know what that is now that I think about it. I don't I guess being a teacher.
Teacher, really?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of now I feel like a lot of this newer generation of Mexican Americans are becoming teachers. So, which is really interesting.
Okay, but have you ever had talks with your parents about, let's say they always wanted you to do like this sort of job or that sort of job? I'm not even saying my parents ever led me that way. It's just that the consensus amongst damn near 99% of the Filipino Americans out there have been told like become a doctor or a lawyer.
No, actually, my parents have always been very supportive of what I do and because usually when I say I want to do something, I end up doing it. You know, So they knew that at first I wanted to be a broadcast journalist. I was majoring in broadcast journalism, but then I quickly realized this is not what I want to do. Yeah. It was just like, and then I thought I wanted to be more on the statistical and analytical side of sports. And then I really thought about it. I was like, yeah, no, this is not me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, those, at least to me, those are like fun things to watch.
Yeah.
Because even like you, babe, like I ended up I went to Cal State LA, and then I went in for broadcast journalism. And then once you find out like literally the news, I mean, if it wasn't already obvious, if it bleeds, it leads. And I'm just like, I don't want to be in a space where it's like filled with nothing but negativity. You know what I mean? It was just so much negativity.
Yeah, I get you. Well, for me, it wasn't much more of the negativity. But then again, like when I was going to school for broadcast journalism, it was very like, that's when, Trump started running for president and everything like that. So everything was pretty negative. So I was just like, okay, that started throwing me off. I had a bad professor who like just completely like didn't, I don't know. She just made me uninterested in it anymore. And then again, I thought I wanted to be analytical and a statistic like reporter for sports. And I was just like, I can barely do numbers, dog. Like, no.
I feel it because, babe, it's funny because even when I watch Warrior games, for example, because y'all, if you don't know, I'm from San Francisco. I'm a huge Warriors fan, been since like 2007. But like the amount of statistics that I feel like people pull out of their ass is just kind of ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Genuinely, like some of the baseball statistics is all like, oh, he's the first like pitcher to ever throw a 95-mile-per-hour fastball on like a day where the wind is going south and blah, blah. I'm all like, what? Who keeps track? Who has the time? And then, so really, like, I like the entertainment aspect of things. So that's why I went into entertainment.
Yeah. And, I went into entertainment and DJing and whatnot simply because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I first moved out to LA. Like, I mean, I went for broadcast journalism, but it wasn't like the for sure thing when I moved out here. So I stumbled upon radio back at Cal State LA and ended up working for Real 92.3 over here in Los Angeles. And in between time, I was just learning how to DJ. I mean, you know the story, babe. And for the people who don't know, like I started DJing because it was my grandma's 75th birthday. And my mom wanted me to go back to the Bay and just play music off in an iPod. First of all, a couple years ago, I think iPods were already obsolete. So I was like, I don't even know what type of iPod you want me to bring.
Actually, I didn't tell you this, but last night I saw one of those iPod Nanos. Do you remember?
Oh, God.
I looked at it and I was like, what? Like, that's such a thing of the past now. I'm just like, what the heck is that?
Let me just say this. If she don't know what an iPad Nano is, she is too young for you, bro. iPod Nano. If she don't know what an iPod Nano is, she is too young for you, bro.
Period. They had like how many generations of iPods?
They had the fat one, the gold one.
The gold one. I think I have that one still. Like I think it's somewhere in a drawer. I know for a fact it's in a drawer with a One Direction case on it.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. But I never had the iPod Nanos. I never had any of those.
No, I think I haven't had every generation of iPod. I remember having the first one. It was kind of like a brick. And
that one.
I mean, I felt like it had like 2 terabytes worth of freaking music.
That's
and I'm
so
like,
the thick ones, like the little, yeah,
like
I
the
know what you're talking
super
about.
thick iPods. But I would carry that thing everywhere. So literally back in middle school or high school, I was kind of the guy who always had music.
Oh, so you've always been the music guy.
Yeah, I've always been the music guy. Like I've always been able to find music some way, somehow.
Or create your own.
Or create my own. Yeah, but I mean, we're not talking about that right now. But, it's funny because now that I'm thinking about this, like the origins of me being a DJ don't necessarily start from February 2017. It actually goes like way back. I've always just been genuinely interested in music. And I mean, at one point I did want to be a rapper, but then, like so did every single person.
Everyone wanted to be a SoundCloud rapper. But I don't think from what I heard from your like music that you used to make, you were a lot better than some of the people I went to high school with. So
I'd like to say that too. I mean, I definitely was not the best, but I'd like to give myself props. It's funny because back when MySpace was still around, babe, I think one song I had was called Crushed, and it had yeah, that one. It had probably 25,000 plays.
25,000 on
25,000 plays on MySpace.
Are you joking?
I'm not even kidding.
That's wild.
Because it's very specific. Like I could have said like ballpark, but no, I knew for a fact it had 25,000 plays. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is lit. I'm going to keep on making more music like this.
Well, was that the only like poppin' song that you had on MySpace, or was there another poppin' one?
I had a couple other ones. I mean,
that's so funny.
I can't even remember the names of those though. I just remember one hit like 25K, and I was like, yeah, I'm freaking popping right now.
You're all like, I'm taking this rap career seriously.
But I did not take it seriously. But the DJ thing did definitely stick with me. Because back in the Bay, one of the more legendary DJs across the world, his name is DJ Qbert.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, Filipino cat, he is literally probably the illest turntablist to ever bless this earth. And he's Filipino. And I always looked at him and I was like, oh, like he's cool. Like he's dope. But I mean, that's literally one person out of like
however many people are on the planet.
Exactly. So I did not know if other people existed. So, I'd like to use this platform, our podcast, the Mexipino podcast, to hopefully just be somebody that people might want to be like, oh, well, if Nico can do this, then I could do this too.
Yeah. Well, if any one of us can do anything, it's as cliche as it sounds, you can do anything that you want.
Yeah.
Anybody can do anything that they want. And that's what we want to push. And that's what we preach a lot to a lot of our friends too, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I preach that a lot. I preach that a lot to you. I'm surprised you don't get tired of me.
No, I don't get tired of you. But I do know that you preach it a lot. I can never get tired of you, babe.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm very adamant about career and pursuing what you love because, I mean, after I graduated from Cal State LA back in 2016, like I was living in places where there were rats crawling in the walls,
you
and like
hear
you could hear the little, it was kind of
that was an ASMR moment. That was a little.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to do no ASMR again, but like rats were living in the walls. I don't think I told you, but it was to the point where I would take a breath. And you know how it's so damn cold sometimes, so you can see your breath formulate?
Oh, my God.
That's the type of place that I was living in.
Oh, my God. Well, upgrade.
I was bumming it.
I believe you. I believe you. You've told me stories, and now I see your progress and where you are now, and I'm so beyond proud of you.
Yeah, thank you, babe. I appreciate you.
Of course.
But
Nico just gave himself a round of applause. Let me put that.
Yeah, look. I live by a couple things. One, you got to be your own damn cheerleader sometimes. You feel me? Ain't nobody gonna rep you harder than you. Oh, see, she already knew it because she know I be saying that a lot.
You always say that.
But I do got to big up Jackie though, because before I met her, she was actually hosting for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes already, and then in the midst of quarantine, she ended up getting a job hosting for the Dodgers.
Yeah, so prior to the pandemic, like Nico said, I was hosting for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, which is like the single A team affiliate of the Dodgers, in case you guys don't know that. And I was already working for the Dodgers, but I was just kind of like a production assistant type of role. It was a blue crew member role. And this season, the 2021 season, I told myself that I was going to give myself a year. I was going to do this production assistant type of role another year, and then I was be like, okay, but I'm going to build the relationships that I should in the meantime. And then next year, I'll go for hosting and see if they want me. So I went up to my now boss for when I host and told him, I'm like, hey, this is what I do. If you ever have any opportunities, I'd love to be considered. He said, okay, asked me what I did, blah, 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 blah. We talked. 4 months later, I get a text from my old boss, and she was just like, hey, like, do you want to do Viva Los Dodgers on Sunday? I'm like, what? And from there, now I'm a host.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Y'all better clap it up for Jackie one time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like my progress this year has been insane. It's been really insane.
Oh, I know. I know.
It's like I didn't get the chance to step back because like it's been a nonstop year for me too, in a sense. Like, yeah, I get some certain weeks off because, I used to get certain weeks off because the team was like on a road trip or whatever, but I would keep myself busy with other things. And it's just, I never got the chance to really step back and be like, holy crap, this was one of my goals. And I finally did it. And it's paying off. And now it is.
Yeah, it definitely is paying off, babe. Do you feel like it kind of just went by like so fast? Because you be worried so much, like
what do you mean worried?
Because you be worried so much as if your goals are like unobtainable, and then you get it, and then you're like, you want to do more.
Well, yeah, I always want to do more. I feel like I think I limit myself. I feel like I have that imposter syndrome sometimes, where I feel like I'm not good enough for some things. Or like I put a goal out there and it's like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, and then I just keep working and I keep on doing what I do, and I'm nice to everybody. I make friends with the people that I should make friends with, and it pays off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think they're too, like, I do get worried. I get worried a lot.
So worried, yo.
I worry about everything. Literally everything. I cry about everything.
You'll find on this podcast, she will literally cry or like worry about like the simplest things, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, no, Nico gets concerned. He's all like, you're a very emotional person, and I'm all like, yeah, I know. And like I'm over here crying like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
All the time, yo, all the time. But we figure it out, and I think that's the main point of our careers. Like, I mean, it sucks not having a figure to follow, you know what I mean? So me being Filipino-American, there's no Filipino-American figures to follow. You being Mexican-American, as you were saying, there are no Mexican-American figures to follow. So I feel like you and I and a couple other people too, like we're on this stage of just like, well, we don't know what we're doing per se. We kind of know how to get to our next goal, but I mean, there's a lot of rocky roads on the way because there's no one to literally like just copy and be like, oh, well, so-and-so did it this way, so I'm going to make sure I do it this way or do it even better. I'm just over here looking like, all right, what's my next move?
Yeah. But also in like you were saying too, since we both understand that, it's very, very, very nice. And I was talking about with someone the other day, and I can't remember who, but it's very nice to have a partner that understands like,
yes,
what you have to do, what like that you're each trying to figure out what you want to do. Because even though Nico and I are both in entertainment, we're both in different sides of entertainment.
Yeah.
But we still understand it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know, I guess it makes it easier because we are in the same industry, even though they are on different sides. But I mean, understanding is key. This doesn't even have to apply to like you and your partner being in the same industry. Just understanding what is going on in their head and what is going on with their career is very pivotal to your personal growth and your growth with your partner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I value that in our relationship, that, we support each other when we can. Like, I know you're not going to go to every Dodger game, and I know you're not going to go to every UCLA game, and I'm not going to go to every club event, or I'm not going to go to every whatever it is, because then you're going to start getting busy, even more busy, but we both understand it.
Yeah. And that's just the basis of it, y'all. Like, we understand where the other person is coming from, and we just try to do our best to make sure that we stay level-headed and grounded as we further progress in our very, very busy careers. It wasn't until a couple of years ago until my parents actually understood what the hell is going on in my career.
Well, because I feel like it's very easy to look at a DJ's life, and I'm not saying this, your parents viewed it this way, but it's very easy to look like at a DJ's life and be like, oh, well, he's just partying, or he's just like his life is just partying.
Yeah.
But they, like, a lot of people don't understand. When I say they, I'm not talking about your parents, by the way. But when I say they, when I say they, I mean like other people who don't see the work that you put in to make this your life, your career. You know,
Yeah.
It's not just a hobby.
Yeah, but you know what? It definitely did start off as a hobby because I just liked playing music. But I think what a lot of people don't do is when you find something that you love to do, people don't know how to take it to the next level. So a couple things that I did, for example, when I first started DJing, like I was taking gigs at a very low price because I didn't know how to price myself.
Very low
price. Y'all, I was DJing at a hookah lounge for like $25 an hour for like 3 hours every Friday because I needed to make ends meet. And while also getting paid like $12.50 an hour at like this other job that I was working at, you know, which was also in the music entertainment field. But what I told myself from that part, I was like, hey, I want to make sure that everything, literally everything that I do has to do with my career. Like I didn't want to, I've had homies talk to me about, oh, maybe you should do like Uber Eats. Maybe you should, you know, like deliver food or whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. They're like, but you need money though, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to do it by doing something that I just don't enjoy doing. I'm not going to do something for the sake of money.
Yeah.
And that's been my mantra, like, ever since I moved out here.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I am very blessed and fortunate to have like just solely have jobs in my career that are relevant to my career.
Yeah.
I've thought about like, you know, I see my friends who like get a lot of money and but for jobs that they don't even like.
Yeah.
For sitting at, you know, behind a receptionist desk or whatever it may be. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but that's not what I want to do. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm going to take right now. I mean, if you count, I probably have like 5 jobs because
you really do.
Because I am, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm
entrepreneur.
An entrepreneur? Is an entrepreneur the right word?
I mean, when someone has multiple streams of income, yeah.
Then okay, I guess I'm an entrepreneur.
She is definitely an entrepreneur.
But anyway, like I have like 5 jobs, and yeah, that might sound like super crazy, but they all are involved with what I love to do.
Yeah, as it should be. You know, babe, we're actually recording this, y'all, the week after Thanksgiving. And over this past weekend, one of my ate in Tagalog means older sister or older female cousin. It's more so a respect thing in the Filipino culture. So my ate's best friend, she came by and we were all getting drunk or whatever. And she was like, oh, I'm not trying to like drink too much. I got to work tomorrow. And I'm like, well, I got to work tonight still. I still got to do the radio show tonight. And I'm already kind of blasted, you know? And she's like, well, Nico, the difference is you love what you love to do, or you love what you do. And I'm like, it's kind of weird because I sobered up for a very quick second. And I said, wow, I don't know. In that moment, I just felt really blessed to know, like, I really do love what I do, despite the fact that I have to work for another hour and a half on a radio show while I'm at home, while drunk. And it's like such a huge difference.
But don't worry, he sobered up before he actually fixed the radio show. Don't worry, guys. He's like, he hasn't said that, and I just wanted to put that out there. He did sober up before editing that.
I did sober up, but, you know, all I'm saying is that, like, you know, when I have conversations with a couple homies from back home, too, whenever I go back to San Francisco, and, you know, I can just tell some people are kind of just, like, living their lives. Some people just want to get by with whatever job that they have going on. And I'm truly passionate about like what I do. And it's kind of weird because my mindset is in this position where nothing else around me matters. I just need to make sure I get my stuff done before I move on to the next thing that I have to do, which, I mean, in some cases, maybe let me get my job done, then let me drink. Let me get my job done, then I can hang out with my niece and my nephew. Let me get the job done, then I can go ahead and eat with my family, because it's just that important to me.
It's like that saying that my dad always says. You know, that one that I told you where you were like, huh, for a second?
What was it?
It was like, if you hang out with the right people, nothing else matters. And if you hang out with the wrong people, nothing else matters. It's that type of thing too.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be with people, but it could also pertain to like jobs, you know?
Yeah.
If you are in the wrong, if you don't like what you do and you're in the wrong job, nothing else is going to matter to you, and you might forget what you actually love to do. And if you are doing what you love to do, then nothing else matters to that.
Yeah. You know, babe, it was Jackie's birthday at the beginning of November.
Yes.
And I actually got her a small birthday gift. It was one of like many birthday gifts that I gave her, right? Hello. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, I didn't even think that.
We went to Solvang.
Oh yeah.
Did we not go to Solvang?
Yeah, we
had
did.
some wine?
Yes, we had wine.
But one of the things that I got her was actually a custom fireball for all my alcoholics. It's a custom like fireball sticker that basically had Jay Quillen on it, and it had like a couple like custom words on it celebrating her birthday and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so my friend from the Bay had actually made that. And it's so funny that like I look at what people like literally enjoy doing, but I want them to believe that they can actually make a career out of this, because I be telling people who I see are super talented, aka my friend who made that sticker. And I'm like, you know, you can make this into a career, right? And she's like, I'm like, no, I'm being dead ass.
Yeah.
Like, I can help you do this.
I mean, that's what I think quarantine has done for a lot of people. A lot of people found things that they want to do, whether it's like, you know, creating their own stuff, or, you know, just doing these little like knickknacks here and there, and they turned it into something huge.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, and you've said it before, and I've said it before, where if you didn't take the time to do something, or to figure out something that you love to do in quarantine, or learn a new skill in quarantine, then what did you do?
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, we were not doing anything for like the first 4 months, but because I think everybody needed a break from life those first 4 months.
Oh, for sure. And you had so much time to just figure out what you love.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when we did this content with Mix Global, it was called Merienda. And Merienda basically means like food, snack type thing in Tagalog, right?
Oh, okay.
So essentially we had this food from this place called Ube Naban, which was, I mean, can you explain it?
Yeah, so
the food.
Yeah, the chef, the main founder of Ube Naban, Jenilyn, she said that she actually, because we were asking her, you know, how did it start? So tell us the backstory. And she said that she actually it was during quarantine.
She started it
because she just wanted to create something for her friends and her family. And it was ube flavored cinnamon rolls.
Ooh.
Which, when I tell you guys, they were so amazing. So then she said, it started up. Wow. Did you
No, I
really?
was trying to do this one. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Because you said it was amazing.
Oh my gosh. He really like did his DJ drop and the Hoya. Okay, so anyway, so Jenilyn said that she, you know, did it for friends and family, but then they told her, hey, you should start selling these, like make your own little dessert company. So she did. Next thing you know, she's at 626 Night Market.
Hell yeah.
Next thing you know, Mix Global is putting her dessert place on their
TV.
On their platform on TV in the Philippines.
Yeah. That's why it's like you never know. Like, you can create something that you think is just so stupid or so minute, or maybe people won't even like it, but more than likely somebody is going to like it if you just put it out there in a very presentable way. And I mean,
if putting it out there on social media now, social media is absolutely insane. So many people grew through social media through quarantine.
Yeah.
TikTok, you grew through TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, shout out our friend Twee. She grew from TikTok.
Yeah, Twee. She just did her show in San Francisco. She just headlined her first concert.
You know what's funny? I feel like on this show we're giving like so many freaking examples right now. It's kind of funny.
Right, because
So,
we
like,
didn't have.
so many examples. But like, our friend Twee, she got super popping on TikTok, and that led to literally one of the most amazing shows that I got to be a part of and also witnessed. It was a 300 capacity venue with like 450 people in there.
That's actually insane. And like, I didn't get the chance to be there, but from seeing it from like, your videos and you FaceTiming me when she was singing on stage, like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That was insane. Now I'm so proud of her. I'm so freaking proud of her. We still need to get her merch, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Twee, you need to pop us some merch.
Can you
really
save
quick.
us
You feel me?
a small and a large in the
Actually
gray?
XL, because I want to make sure I fit.
Okay. All right. Could you save us a small and XL in the heather gray wash tee? Twee, thank you.
But yeah, like, there's just so many examples of like just amazing people over this past quarantine, and I mean still in quarantine, who are just absolutely killing it. And we hope that through some of these examples that you're able to do what you want to do,
or that inspires you just a little bit, regardless of entertainment, again, like entertainment or whatever it might be. We want everyone in our circle to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that circle is only going to grow from this podcast, so we want everyone to succeed.
Yeah, facts. And, I actually didn't even bring up this point, but like, it took a couple years for my parents to actually understand what I do. So, when I did start interviewing artists back in 2016, my parents, I kid you not, my mom or my dad would whisper in my ear or even just shoot a text like, hey, maybe you want to look for a big boy job. Maybe you want to look for a more high paying job. And I always just deflected it. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm okay doing that. And it wasn't until I interviewed this guy named Nico Pasquale.
Nico! I love his music now.
I love his music too. But it wasn't until I interviewed Nico Pasquale when they were just like, okay, we see what you're doing now, and we see the conversations that you're having with people. And not that they gave their stamp of approval like at that time, but it was a moment in my career where I knew if my parents finally saw what I was doing, that I knew I was doing the right thing too.
Okay, I get that. But so do you think like culturally, like it's hard for Filipino parents to adjust?
Yeah, it's super hard because what happened was that when Filipinos started migrating from the Philippines to anywhere across the world, whether it be Daly City, San Francisco area, or whether it be like Australia or anything like
Canada
too.
We know a lot of Filipinos in Canada now.
So many Filipinos in Canada. But no matter where they migrated to, they migrated for opportunity. So think of it this way. I want to say the way a lot of like older generations of Filipinos think, they think that when we go somewhere, we're going to get high paying jobs so we can migrate everybody else from the Philippines to over here. Yeah. Right. And that's kind of just like the way of thinking. And because in the Philippines, there's so many nurses and so on and so forth, they already had a blueprint to follow on exactly what to do. Again, because there are no DJs to follow, there are no Filipinos in entertainment to follow. And when you have, Filipinos migrating and they just need something to follow and just make it as quick and as easy as possible to get a job.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have that back then. So yeah, were my parents worried about me? Of course, because every single parent is supposed to worry.
Oh, God.
But I mean, I'm just saying, but I told them, like, I want to be some sort of a blueprint, not only for my family and, like, my younger cousins, my nieces and nephews, but, hopefully there's another Filipino out there who wants to do something that they love to do. They just don't have the courage to do so.
Yeah. And I, like you said, you want to be a blueprint for your nieces and your nephews and all that. I mean, I'm not saying that she wants to be in entertainment now, but my cousin Kehlani, she went
Shouts out to Kehlani.
She went to, she's the most like woke 18-year-old ever.
Yeah.
But anyway, like when she went with us to that shoot for Mix Global for Marienda with Mix, she saw what Nico and I do. She's like, you guys are like so popular. You guys are like celebrities, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, no, we're not. She goes, but she got a glimpse of what we do.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is so cool. Like, she met Roz from Mix Global. She thinks Roz is so amazing. And she is. But she never would have known had I never been in entertainment, had you never been in entertainment, had I never met you, Like, it's just what is it?
A cycle?
No, it's like the snowball effect or the domino effect. Like, it just keeps on going and going after that. And then next thing you know, we take over the industry, the entertainment industry.
Yeah. I want Filipinos and Mexicans to like really take over the entertainment industry.
I think we are. I think we are going to do that eventually.
Yeah. I think right now is just the cusp of it all. Like, we're slowly breaking through, and it's cool to see so many Filipino-Americans really take the stage. I mean, people probably have heard of like Pilo, her, Kehlani, which I actually just found out is part Filipino.
Really?
Yeah, she's.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, but guess who put me on that? My boy DJ Kizza, who is also Filipino.
See,
you know what I mean? It's
period.
just like it's kind of just like an endless cycle of us just like sharing this information, and once we understand this information, it's like, cool, now I know, and now I feel more comfortable doing the things I want to do.
Oh yeah, because then you see like, okay, you being Filipino and like me being Mexican, and I'm not saying like, we're not going to support other people that are outside of being Mexican and Filipino, but like you see them and you feel happy, you feel good, and
empowered.
You feel empowered, and you feel like, you know what, I'm going to support you 10 times harder now. Like, I'm going to support you because I want you to win. We all want each other to win. And that's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah. Do you have like anybody like, I guess in the Mexican American realm who you kind of see as, oh, like, this is cool. I like seeing this person do their thing. I like seeing this person do their thing, and you just genuinely feel inspired by them?
Well, I wouldn't say like celebrity wise. I mean, now there's more like Mexican representation out there with like, singers and artists like Becky G, and there's like the standard celebrities.
Singing in the shower.
Which he didn't know that Becky G was the singing in the shower girl. Like, he didn't know that until recently.
Saying.
He didn't know that until recently. Let me just put that out there. How do you not know that?
I'm just saying, because I listened to it. I was like, oh, maybe this is some white girl.
But anyway, oh my gosh, you did not sound white.
Well, I'm just saying, I didn't know.
But anyway, but being an entertainment host, I get to now work with other entertainment hosts. I see Naz Perez, I see Jess Rosales, and I see them, and they inspire me so much. Now that I feel like I can call them mentors, I can call them friends too, because not only do I work with them, I look up to them, and they are like, they might not know this, but to me, they're the ones that inspired me to go and do this. And so for them to actually help me along the way and, guide me and give me advice, it's like, I can't even process that.
It's an infinite loop of inspiration, everybody. That's all we're saying.
It's ineffable.
I said infinite.
But I'm saying ineffable because you taught me that word. You taught me that word.
Okay. All right. You want to explain?
You can't ever give me credit.
Oh my God. Okay. You want to tell everybody what ineffable means?
It means without
not
words.
effable.
Oh my gosh. No, that's not what it means. It means without words. Like, right? Right? That means like without words.
Like you're lost of words. Like you unexplainable.
Yes. Well, lost for words.
Yeah. Lost for words. Ineffable. INEFFABLE. You feel me? How did your parents, did your parents ever like just see you do your thing and was like, oh, you're on the right path, or did they ever want to like kind of curve you towards something else?
They didn't curve me towards anything else, really. I mean, they've always, like I said before, they've always been so supportive. They've always, I was always a very outgoing kid growing up, and I still I'm now I'm an outgrowing adult. I think I've crawled into my shell a little bit more as I grew up. But when I was a kid, I was always like, I would go up to people. I'd say hi to people. My mom would say that sometimes I'd like we would be at a restaurant and I go to the booth where people are eating. I'd be like, hi, like, hey, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm pretty sure I would have gotten kidnapped as a kid one day if, like, you know, I did.
Oh my God.
No, I'm serious. Like, I was so outgoing that I would just go and be like, hey, hi, what's up? Like, what you doing type of thing.
She said, hey, what's up? Hello.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, like, I think my parents always knew that I was going to be doing something that had to talk, you know, because I love to talk. And it was a very weird adjustment because my brother was always a quiet kid. And my brother's older than me. So, like, even when we would go to this restaurant by my house, it was like a burger joint. We would pay 50 cents for a refill on sodas. And my brother hated getting refills because he would have to go to the counter and talk to the cashier.
Damn, Jacob hella nervous or what?
Yeah, no, he really was. So I would always be like, oh, I'll go. And I'd get the money from the table and then I'd go. But it got to the point where like Jacob would even ask me like, hey, do you want to go do it? And I'd be like, okay, like I will go do it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but then my parents like made my brother go and do it. They're like, no, like you have to go do it. And then he's like,
you have to be sociable.
Yeah, no, seriously.
You have to talk.
And so then he would look at me and he'd go, do you want to come with me? And I'll be like, okay. And like, I couldn't even see over the counter. I was so short. I would just be like this. And I just put the money on the counter and be like, here you go.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So my parents always knew. And my parents, they're super supportive. Like when I started hosting at Dodgers, you were there. You went with my family. There was my family of like 20 something people. They went to a Dodger game just to see me host.
Yeah. It's so interesting because, I mean, I guess we're in a realm where both of our parents were very much supportive and still are very supportive of what we do. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of difficult to gauge when there is somebody who doesn't have supportive parents, you know?
Yeah, and
like it's so hard because I wouldn't know what to say to that right off the bat, because I've had people like ask me like, well, what happens if your parents don't support you? And I kind of just say, well, you kind of just got to do your own thing until you can prove to yourself and prove to them that you can just support yourself monetarily with what you love.
Well, not even with what you love. And like, I wouldn't say that, you know, I don't know what it feels like to have like non-supportive parents for my career, like, you know, but like, you know, my parents aren't gonna agree with every life decision I make. Yeah. So in that sense, I feel like I could then tell people, you know, and I'm still learning how to do this too. It's like, just do what you want, you know? Who's gonna care at the end of the day? At the end of the day, they're not the ones doing what you want to do, what you aspire to do, because they like, and this goes a little bit deeper than everything, but their parents came here for a better life for everyone else to come after. Now it's my dad always says this too. I want you guys, he tells me and my brother, he goes, and he even tells you too. He's like, I want you guys to be better than what we were. And that might not always be what they do now, you know? So, and if you don't, then what was all the shit that they went through?
Yeah. I hear you.
You know, you get me? Like, my dad is always telling me, be better than what I was. And I think I can honestly, and I'm not bashing my parents, but I think at my age, comparing to them, at their like my age when they were 23, I think I'm in a much better position.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only, like, your parents can only be happy for you if you're better than what they were.
Damn, it really did just get a little deep there, huh? Nah, but I mean no, you're not wrong. I mean, that's in all seriousness though, because I think this is the reason why I love doing these things so much. Mm-hmm. because at a younger age, as I said, I didn't have anybody to look at who proved that they could go against the grain and just do whatever they wanted to do. And so let's say when I look at my cousin, who she's about 17, 18 years old, still in high school, she doesn't know what to do, but her mom is telling her to be a nurse or be a doctor, and she's asking me for advice. I always say, like, put your middle finger up. I mean, don't
directly do it to your parents or your mother.
Yeah, like don't directly do that, but what's the word?
What?
Just
What word are you trying to look for, babe? What word are you trying to? You're really struggling.
Don't physically put your middle finger up, but basically do what you want to do, because the only person who is either going to be happy or miserable in your shoes is you.
Yeah.
They're not your parents or your brother or your sister or whoever is not going to be the one who clocks in and clocks out with whatever you end up doing every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I also tell everyone to be your own damn cheerleader, to hype yourself up and make sure you rep yourself as hard as you can, because if you believe it, you can have everybody else believe it, and then there's just going to be no doubt afterwards. Like, our parents work too damn hard, and I feel like even parents should hear this. Like, parents have worked too damn hard to migrate to this country just for us to be miserable with what we do on our daily lives.
Oh, absolutely. And I think parents also need to hear, like, at one point, a cycle is going to break.
Yeah.
There's going to be cycles that need to be broken, or not even need to be, that are just going to end up being broken, whether that's career wise, whether that's, cultural wise. Cycles are going to be broken. And I think our generation is the one that's finally breaking cycles.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Really, it's true though. I mean, we're breaking cycles of careers. We're breaking cycles of mental health, which a lot of our parents and their parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they dealt with.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, it's funny even in the mental health aspect, and, we can have a whole separate podcast for this too.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe we can make it for the next one.
Yeah.
But, with mental health, it's rough when the older generations were kind of just dealing with shit as opposed to speaking up for themselves. So when it comes to us, or even the generations after us, when we do speak up for ourselves because something is wrong or something is on our mind, or we simply just want to say something, it sucks when it's like, well, stop talking back.
Oh my gosh, I hate when it's like, I get it. There's tones. There's different tones that we can use, and I got my tone. You got your tone. Oh my
you feel me?
No, oh my god. And I know I have a tone sometimes when I talk.
Yes, she does.
Oh my gosh. But there's a difference between addressing, how things make you feel, and then, like you said, like older generations feeling that we're attacking them because we're expressing how we feel.
Yeah.
And then that you can't ever, what's the word I'm looking for? And I always tell you this when I want you to see my point of view of something, I catch myself, and I know you're gonna see what I'm talking about when I say it, but I always end up saying oh, I want you to understand, and then I backtrack and I said, no, I want you to try and understand. I want you to try and understand how I feel. Yeah. And it's very hard for older generations to try and understand, because it's always, depression was never a thing, It was a thing, but they didn't know. There's just oh, she's sad. Just get over it. What do you have to be sad about?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this topic
it's a whole separate podcast.
I think this is like a whole separate podcast, so we should probably save this for
we're gonna
episode
save
2 of the Mexipino podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Before we get way too deep into it, because I feel like I have a lot to say about it. So
yeah, mind you, that's something that we did not plan out. We're kind of just like making this up on the fly.
No, I think everything that we're talking about is making it up on the fly, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we definitely touched on the cusps of our careers on this podcast, and maybe in some little way, shape, or form, you felt a little bit inspired.
Yeah, hopefully. But I think that I don't know. I do hope that everyone comes back to listen to us because they feel that we have something important to say, or because people just genuinely like us and they want to fuck with us and they want to fuck with their support our podcast.
Say that again. We also wanted to end every single podcast with a very special segment where we highlight a food spot that me and Jackie have been to. So if y'all ever go on our individual Instagrams,
you'll see that we're
always eating some damn food. Y'all see what we are eating like really well, like whether it be Korean barbecue or whatever. But
most of the time Korean barbecue.
Yes, most of the time Korean barbecue. But this time around, Jackie actually found a Asian restaurant that we went to the other day from TikTok.
Yes, this is my time to shine.
Let's go.
Okay, so since I found this one, does this mean that you're gonna find the next one?
I'll talk about the next one for sure.
Okay, fine. Okay. Wow, I love TikTok. I spend hours on TikTok, literally hours. And I found this place called PP Pop in Monterey Park. PP Pop in Monterey Park. It's literally PP Pop. And it is just an Asian fusion restaurant, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of confused on what type of restaurant it was because, you said you wanted dumplings, but then when we get in there, there's like Korean barbecue ramen, and then there's like sushi. And I'm like, okay, so there's Korean barbecue ramen, which is like Korean and also Japanese. Sushi, obviously Japanese, but then they also had dumplings. So I'm like,
and then they had pho too, I think
they had pho. Oh, and you remember they actually had that like 36-ounce jug of Thai tea?
Oh my God. It was a mango green tea. It was a mango green tea that was the size of Nico's head.
Yes.
And it was only $3.50. Guys, that's literally blows my mind because it was so big and it was just like, it was so good. Everything was so good. We got the pork dumplings, pork house dumplings. Nico got the Korean barbecue ramen. Oh my
God, that was smacking.
So good. We got the popcorn chicken.
Yes. I like to say this. If y'all ever go to any Asian restaurant, you can judge how good the food is based off the popcorn chicken alone. And the popcorn chicken was fire.
And then we also got the mango green tea, which again was $3.50, which was like how much ounce would you say?
32. It was a huge jug.
It was like a huge beer jug. It was like a huge beer jug, and I said it was the size of like Nico's head. It was just huge.
Yeah.
So it was really good. So if you guys ever want to try a new spot, it's called PP Pop in Monterey Park.
Mm-hmm. Shouts out to PP Pop, everybody.
Yes.
If you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss, make sure you hit up our Instagram at Mexipino Podcast or email mexipinopodcast@gmail.com. Or you can hit up our individual Instagrams at Nico, aka Blitz,
and at J_Quillen. And can I just say really quick that this is our first episode, and as of our first episode, we already have 61 or 62 followers on our Mexipino podcast.
That's fucking dope, man.
I don't know how.
I don't know how people are finding this.
Literally, we had, I think, 50 something followers before I even
we haven't even promoted it.
Yeah, yeah. And so we already have an insane amount of supporters and our friends who are supportive of us that already follow, and it's just so crazy. And we just want to say thank you guys. That we hope that with this we can provide some funny content for you guys.
Yes.
We can inspire you guys, and that we can talk about the taboos of our cultures, the similarities, the differences, and everything in between.
Amen to
we
that.
want this to be a safe place for everybody.
Yes. That being said, mental health on episode 2.
Yes,
everybody.
Definitely. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. Do I even wear makeup that podcast?
I don't know. I mean, some people are just going to listen, so they won't even see the tears.
That's true.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all that, everybody. My name is Nico Blitz.
My name is Jackie Ramirez.
And this is the Mexipino Podcast, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Adios.
Bye.